What are the best two words in sports? Game 7. That's where we're headed for the Spurs and Nuggets after last night. Despite Nikola Jokic dropping 43 points, it wasn't enough for Denver as the Spurs pulled off a convincing 17-point win at home. The series heads back to Denver for Game 7 tomorrow. So, Amin, who do you trust more in that Game 7?
Whew, that's a good question, George. Can I give the answer this way?
You can give the answer any way you'd like, but I would just like to say on this set, we need to get after it.
Okay,
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, I
think the Nuggets are going to win Game 7, but I trust the Spurs more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Right, because here's the deal. Denver is way more talented, and they're playing at home. And historically, we know the home team wins Game 7 at a ridiculously high clip. That's why when the Cavs won the finals in 2016, so that was such a big shock.
Right.
It wasn't just as the Warriors and all that stuff. It's a road team going in and winning Game 7, extremely rare. However, if there was one sort of scenario where the upset could happen, it's a team like the Spurs, coached by the greatest coach of all time, Gregg Popovich. He's a guy who's seen it all, seen all the situations, all the scenarios, and by the way, still has stuff in his bag that he could pull out that they haven't done all year long or all series long that could throw the Nuggets for a loop, and I don't know how they'd adjust to something like that.
So in Game 6, the Spurs won because they shut down Denver from outside, right? Denver was 6 for 24 behind the three-point arc. You make an adjustment, and you shoot better at home. So I'm not saying they can, but they certainly have the ability to do that, and they have been pretty good in these playoffs at making adjustments from game to game. I think that's one of the things we wondered about with this young group is would they be able to respond when they get down or when things go amiss, and so far they have.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with both of you as far as the concept of you think Denver can pull it off, but you're weary. You're leery of the Spurs, right? Obviously in that experience. But here's the thing, to your point about teams shooting better at home, but particularly role players play better at home. Historically, that's always been the case, and I feel like that's the type of stuff that gets you over the edge in this situation.
Well, here's the thing with young teams in this league, especially in the Western Conference. You have to go through San Antonio. It's like your crucible.
Rite of passage,
right? So whatever good young team has come up through the Western Conference, they have to beat the Spurs at some point. And this is Denver's challenge. It may not happen the first year, but I think they'll win tonight.
This is what I'm talking about. People say, well, how could you say that you think the Nuggets are going to win, but that you trust the Spurs more? In 2010, when I was with the Suns, we were up 3-0 on the Spurs in the Western Conference semifinals. We're playing Game 4. We're up, I believe, double digits. Steve Nash gets elbowed in the eye. His eye swells up. He's got to come out of the game and get stitches. The Spurs hit like 2 threes in a row as soon as Steve came out. And I swear to God, I'm not being facetious when I say this. In my mind, I thought, that's how it happens. Not that's how we lose this game. That's how we lose this series. We're up 3-0 and up double digits in Game 4. But the Spurs have that thing. They are the slasher movie villain where it's like, oh, thank God they're dead. And you turn around. The body's gone. Oh, my God, they're not dead yet. And that's why I say I think the Nuggets are going to win. But I trust the Spurs more. I think Freddie's going to get up and slash somebody again.
1, 2, Pop's coming for you.
Exactly.